Welcome in, everybody. The coffee, it is hot. Welcome in, everybody. I feel like that can be reconnected, though. There we go. There we go, there we go, there we go. There we go, there we go, there we go. It's as good as it's got. Welcome in, Emma, Julie, PJ, Clownfish. Welcome in, Emma, Julie, PJ, Clownfish. Hope y'all had a day. It's 8:08 on the dial. What goes around comes around. The karmics, they be karmicking. We're karmicking earlier, and I think they end up getting a little bit of a backfire. That's what Spirit was saying. It's kind of given fuck around and find out kind of energy. Welcome in. If you're new here, check out the description box. It'll tell you all about what I do here. Okay. If you're returning, welcome back. If you're new here, welcome in. If my message triggers you, all I'm trying to do is facilitate something for you to heal. There's a lot of karmics out there that don't want to heal. And if you don't want to heal, if you don't want to evolve, if you don't want to elevate, this is probably not the channel for you. Okay? I'm just going to say that much. I'm not here to make you feel bad about yourself. I'm here to help you recognize what you might need to heal in order for you to level up and become the best version of yourself. It's the only way. It's the only thing I'm doing here. Okay? I'm not here trying to talk shit. I'm not here to call you out. But if it's singling you out, maybe it's something to maybe pay attention to. I've been to hell and back. I've been fighting off demons pretty well my whole life. In some way or no, some shape, way or another. I've walked away from a karmic family. And now I'm focusing on elevating my soul family. So if you want to be part of that family, you don't want to be alone, you don't want to feel alone anymore, I very well could be here for you. So if you're drawn here, if you're new here and somehow you just dropped in onto my channel by chance, there might be a message here for you tonight. I don't give free readings. However, I do have a Open Table Fridays, which, I don't know. I don't know if there's going to be an Open Table Friday. I might have one tomorrow to make up for it. So I might have an Open Table Wednesday. Mainly because there's usually a collective message that comes out. I want to keep that message and the open table separate. I feel my live streams work better that way, and I'm not so distracted. Because when I'm trying to do a collective message, I like to channel it, and I like to be in flow of that channel. And by mixing the two, people tend to interrupt that channeled message, asking for questions to be answered, and then it all gets distracted. So if I need to open the table, I'd like to have the table open in a way that's going to benefit you, and as well as the collective. All right. So, situation. That's the reason why I run it the way I run it. Welcome in, Jim. However, if you want a personal read, you can get a personal reading through the link section. There you will find a Hipsy link to my online portal. To where you can book a session with me, and where you can book a recorded reading as well. Both are available. If tonight's collective message resonates with you and you'd like to support the channel, I am literally bread and butter. So if you would like to support the channel, you're supporting putting food in my mouth. You're supporting me by helping me pay my storage unit, as well as my phone bill, and putting food in my mouth and getting me from point A to point B and whatever else. Within a little while there, I'm going to be homeless. I'm not exactly looking forward to it, but Spirit said that it was going to be quite the adventure that I still need to look forward to despite it all. So we're going to just kind of go with the flow. So if you'd like to support the channel and at least get me some money, it'd be greatly appreciated. You can become a member here on the tube. And we do a collective, and we do a open table twice a month. So at the beginning of the month and then mid-month. I was supposed to do a mid-month last Saturday, but it turned out to be a public kind of shit show. So I apologize to my members on that one. But I'm thinking maybe this Saturday might be a little bit different. We'll see. I don't know exactly where I'm going to be, what I'm going to do, how I'm going to get there. I haven't even got that far yet. I've just been focusing on starting to pack and get things ready for the storage. So, anyway. So I'm just giving a minute, doing my little announcements. And saying what I need to say, and then we're going to get into it. I got my coffee sitting here with me. If you want to tap into the collective message, you can hit a like button. If my previous messages have provided you with any clarity and you'd like to hype those videos, feel free. But it looks like you can't hype it until it's uploaded. So if there was a particular live that you've seen in the past hype and you want to go hype it up, it's all greatly appreciated. Bradley Bear's in the house. Welcome in. Hope you're doing friend, my good. Hope you're doing good, my friend. Slightly dyslexic tonight, if that's what you call it. Anyway. Good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. I'm gonna try and cut back and try and quit cigarettes again. Roughly about a pack a week, so I'm doing pretty good compared to a pack every day. So we're gonna try again. See how it goes. Through my rummaging around in my things, I found some nicotine longes. I guess they're candies. So I'm going to try them at 2 milligram. So maybe they're going to help me cut the edge of the nicotine. So I'm going to try those and see if they help with the situation that I be dealing with. I'm being called with my playing cards tonight, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Tonight's message, I feel, is going to be a little bit more uplifting, but we'll see. I'm not going to promise you anything, but I'm open to it. I'm open to the possibilities. Well, the thing is, Bradley, I've been pretty well smoking my whole life. And I'm planning on getting a new set of teeth at some point. And I know I need to at some point to do that. So that's why I'm going ahead with that whole idea. It does definitely level-headed. And considering the stressful time that the world's going through right now, I'm just trying to keep a level head. And I think since I've done a lot of my shadow work and a lot of my healing, the need for smoking is becoming obsolete. Similar to the drinking, I quit drinking. I've quit smoking weed, which I didn't think I was ever going to quit weed, but I quit weed. And I could have went out and bought some weed, but I chose not to. So it is what it is. I'm just going with the flow. It's spiritually guided. So, anyway. Alright, collective. Let's get into it. Great Spirit, guides, guards, protectors, angels, ancestors, divine light, please bring a beautiful message for tonight to my collective. We might get the Dragon's decks out tonight. I hear them whispering at me. So we'll see how it goes. This card kind of... 7 of Cups. So somebody very well could be overwhelmed. Somebody could be trying to be distracted or distract themselves or distract you with overwhelm. I feel it's being sent back to sender. I feel that it's hitting them hard. We got the Queen of Cups in the reverse. So yeah, somebody's bitter. It very well could be a water sign. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, feminine. They're very overwhelmed at this time. What's going on, Spirit? All right, so we got an Ace of Wands, Two of Wands, both, and then we got the Nine of Pentacles reversed. So there's definitely something here about a new beginning not happening. There's about somebody being siphoned off of, either energetically or monetarily. Somebody's losing their independence or lost their independence. Ten of Swords on the bottom of the deck. And we've got the Three of Pentacles on the top of the deck. So if you're in this position right now, if this is resonating with you, this is a transition period. There's definitely something ending out for you. Just go with the flow. All right. We got Nine of Wands reversed. So yeah, somebody here, whoever you are, you're going through it. You're definitely going through it. It's like, it's really kind of giving me like a new beginning kind of blew up in your face. There's some sort of loss of independence. Something about you not getting the upper hand. You're not moving forward. But there's definitely some sort of collaboration here. So this is in your best interest. And I think what you're losing out on, or what you're feeling overwhelmed about, is it's a blessing in disguise. It might not look all that great right now, but I feel it's going to change. The King of Pentacles kind of wants to come out, and it's in reverse. So you could be the Earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, or you could be kind of feeling a little bit unstable with your foundation. The Five of Wands is here, so we're talking about some sort of conflict. There's definitely some sort of conflict. The Ten of Pentacles in reverse. Pray tell, what the hell? Spirit, what's this all about? So there's definitely something here about collaborating. Kind of going with the flow. Somebody's trying to cause you conflict. But it's really difficult to flow with conflict. Spirit, tell me more. What's going on? Yeah, I wanted a new deck with new energy, right? But it doesn't seem to be the case. Like, it doesn't matter what. That's why I keep buying new ones, because I figure get a new deck, new energy. So far, it's all bad news, but it looks like bad news. But I feel like it's for the better. It's for the highest good. It's like, this is the end of the snake, right? So the tail is doing its little slither thing, right? And it's ultimately shedding. We're at the literally, no pun intended, but pun clearly put into place. We are at the tail end of the snake year, all right? February 17th is significant with that ending. We're moving into the fire horse year, where there's going to be a lot more momentum, and I feel that this is cutting out the dead weight. A grumbling tummy is definitely a confirmation here. Yeah, so things might be slowing down to a halt with the Eight of Wands on the bottom of the deck in the reverse. And we got the Jack of Cups, so the Prince of Cups. This is quite possibly some sort of an apology. What's the scoop, Spirit? Make sense of this, please. Yeah. Somebody's not being compassionate whatsoever. I'm also picking up here that somebody's actually overwhelmed because they've outright tried to throw you negativity. They've outright tried to throw negativity and try to destroy you. They've tried to siphon off of you. They tried to keep you left in shambles, keeping you from moving forward. This new beginning that you're supposed to have, it's supposed to blow up in your face. There's some sort of foundation here with the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. It's going to be gone to shit. Like, they're thinking that they're thwarting you and they're making you out, but it's like they're doing you a favor to some degree. I was actually talking to my earlier about this, that, you know, and they even mentioned it. It's like they think that they're destroying us when they're just basically pushing us in a new direction. Right? They think that they're making us learn something when it's like somewhere where you want to move anyway because you don't like the place, and they're basically pushing you out the door. Right? And you don't want to be there to begin with. So in essence, they're kind of doing you a favor. What's the scoop? The King of Cups. So the King of Cups very well could be put to rest. I really am picking up on a Cancer individual. Whatever they're doing is being put to rest. And honestly, I think their so-called new beginning that they were trying to get off of your energy is blowing up in their face. They're not going to be moving forward with anything that's going on. They're losing their independence. They're not getting the upper hand. And they're losing everything as far as their foundation. Okay, and I do feel that there's something here about them being put to rest, or they're being, whatever they're doing, it's being put to rest. And it's unapologetic. It's very unapologetic. They've done too much. Yeah, and they were, you know, I do feel the Three of Pentacles here. You definitely have some, there's definitely something here, collaboration coming in for you. And they didn't anticipate that. The divine is working in your favor. And I'm hearing transmutation. So you're basically transmuting all of the shit that's being sent. Yeah. And they're trying to slow you down, keep you stagnant. And I do feel that you're just being pulled back to be launched in a new direction. Hello, Kelly. Welcome in. Yeah, Eight of Swords. There's definitely something here about clarity coming to the table. There's definitely something very, very clear. Yeah, there's definitely balance in the mix. Yeah, you're not trapped. They tried to trap you, but they're not. You're not trapped. You're juggling things just fine, is what the Spirit's saying. There's definitely someone coming forward to speak. This could be an authority figure. This could be somebody coming to communicate something. Yeah, you're coming out of the cold. Yeah, there's definitely an authority figure coming in. There's the King of Swords here in the upright. There's definitely some sort of communication. It's either that or you're communicating. Somebody's taking some sort of fast action. Queen of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. I'm also picking up that somebody's being watched and somebody sees what they're doing. Somebody got caught. Somebody's caught up. Things are going to start moving very quickly for you. Swords. Yeah. There's definitely going to be some sort of decisions that you're going to make. I do get a feeling like somebody tried to destroy you, destroy new beginning, keep you from moving forward, make you look unstable, and to get you to not have the upper hand, and I think it's backfiring in their face. And I feel that whoever that was doing this, they were making false reports, and I feel that being caught up and being put in jail for these false reports. They're being charged for making false reports against you. Yeah, 8 of Wands, Queen of Pentacles. You're going to be able to nurture your finances, nurture your stability. If things haven't started changing and shifting for you, collective, it's going to, okay? In a very good way. I get this feeling that it's going to be okay. It wasn't okay for quite a while, so I'm not sitting here going to gaslight you. Okay, somebody clearly wanted you defenseless. Somebody clearly to betray you with the Three of Swords. Okay? Somebody didn't want you sticking up for yourself, but you did. Is there anything else that you want me to clarify on this, Spirit? We got the Joker in the reverse and the Eight of Cups. So the joke's on them walking away. Okay? The joke's not on you, the joke's on them. Somebody thought it was a joke coming up against you, coming for you, trying to destroy you, trying to make things, you know, not work in your favor, trying to really cause you a lot of pain and suffering, and you're walking away from this. The joke's on them. Yeah. I do feel that they're losing everything with the Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. We've got the Seven of Swords on the cut. So there's definitely something here about somebody being very strategic to try to steal from you, and it's backfiring bad for them. Okay? So whatever this so-called botched new thing that they were trying to send to you, it's haunting them. They're getting caught up for it. Welcome in, Roxanne. All right, let's look into the tarot. 8 ball. Is that the clarification? Is this all on time? Is this all spot on? Yes. Okay. Good shit. Yeah, 9 of Swords. Somebody's going through a dark night of the soul. Somebody is going through it. And the Spirit's saying you warned them. You warned them this was going to happen. What's the scoop? Yeah, Judgment. Their judgment is being put to rest. Knight of Wands. They tried to get you all acting out of character and all that shit. You alchemized it. The Ten of Pentacles is in the upright now. So there's definitely something here about your foundation. This could be about a legacy that you're building. It could be about an inheritance. Could be something to do with family. I really kind of feel that somebody tried to keep you from moving forward, from taking action. They wanted you to act a fool. But you're out here still with compassion. You're very understanding. You're very loving. Somebody's coming in. It very well could be you moving forward with compassion, or very well somebody could be coming in with some sort of compassion. Wands. So this is about just being patient. Your ship coming in. Collaboration, new ideas, new inspiration, new possibilities. Queen of Pentacles. The Chariot reversed and the Devil. So there's definitely something here. You nurturing your finances, and there's something here about not being able to move forward due to some sort of toxic energy. But you're in this energy of alchemy and magic. The Queen of Pentacles is very magical. She has all the elements available to her at her disposal. She's definitely pre-Empress energy. 9 of Swords. There's only somebody here that's not going to be moving forward due to their toxic energy. This could very well be somebody that's two-faced. Kind of gives off the fact that she's nurturing and loving and kind and whatever. She's really not. What's the scoop? This could be a Capricorn. Okay. The Strength card. Somebody's not moving forward. I don't know. The King of Pentacles. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn again. You could very well be nurturing your finances. Like, I'm not saying nothing about the Queen and the King of Pentacles in a negative way. They're in the upright. Okay? The Devil is here, right? So this could very just well represent some sort of determination. Somebody's very determined. With the Strength card out here, this in the bottom of the deck, this could represent very determined strength. Somebody's showing their strength despite the fact that they're having a hard time moving forward. Tell me more, Spirit. The Knight of Cups. And we got the Five of Pentacles. And again, the Nine of Swords. What do we got on the cut? The Page of Pentacles in the reverse. So what I'm picking up on with this is somebody wanted you begging. Somebody wanted you out here acting a fool. And you're literally transmuting all of that. You're very nurturing, you're very kind, you're very solid, you're very stable. And I get a feeling like somebody was trying to present you with this devil energy, this toxic energy. okay? But you were very, very patient regarding the legacy that you're building. You're definitely standing on business. I'm really picking up on the fact that you're not one to screw with. The Five of Pentacles on its side, this is, you're kind of at a precipice. You very well could be at a particular crossroads at this time, whether or not you're going to be left out in the cold or not, whether or not you're going to have some sort of stability. But the number 5 is definitely changes. There's definitely abrupt changes happening. And with the Knight of Cups on its side, I really pick up on the fact that there's numbness here. You could be numb to the unworthiness or the worthlessness or what's being projected onto you as of that, right? This could very well be the fact that somebody's trying, like the previous reading, trying to throw you off, trying to throw under the bus, so to speak. Having your new beginning just totally blow up in your face. And I have a feeling that's all being put to a stop. That's not, they're not moving forward with that or nurturing your stability. There's definitely something here about being numb to this whole idea of not moving forward. Spirit's saying it's just another Tuesday. Come in, kitty. Nope. Up the card. What do we got? Ace of Pentacles. And the Ten of Swords. Yeah. So somebody threw away some sort of Ace of Pentacles. And there's some sort of cycle being ended out here. It's like somebody squandered an Ace of Pentacles. And I think this is what's putting an end to whatever this is. Somebody was out here being a tyrant. Or maybe that's what they're trying to make you look like, but you're actually quite stable. But with the devil being the middle of the table, I'm really picking up on the fact that maybe they're trying to make you a sacrifice. They could have made a deal with the devil regarding you. I'm not making no deal with no devil, that's for sure. I've been too busy fighting off those demons. There's a death card here, so there's definitely some sort of ending to a cycle. With the Ten of Wands, or Ten of Swords, and a death card, and the Ace of Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles is in the upright, the Ten of Swords is in the upright, the death card's in the upright. So there's definitely something here about a cycle ending. There very well could be someone passing away. Someone could have passed away. It could have been a cancer. I do believe there may have been some sort of an accident otherwise. So I'm not really too sure of what that's going to look like to you, for you, collective. Let's get 3 more cards, Spirit. The Hermit. The Fool. There's an Ace of Pentacles here. And we've got the Nine of Swords in reverse and the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. So there's definitely something here about you taking a leap of faith into an awakening. And I think this is what saved you. The Nine of Swords, you're coming out of a dark night of the soul. You're clearing out some sort of betrayal. And I do feel that you're coming out of this dark night of the soul after you tried to ruin what you've been investing into. Okay? Somebody wanted you in this dark night of the soul, but I think somebody else is going through it. So you're coming out of it now. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Kitty. There's definitely something here about the tables of turning. 808 is significant. Maybe we'll look into that angel number and see what it says. But 8 being the affinity, it's about tables turning. What goes up must come down, and what goes around must come back around, kind of thing. And I feel that somebody was really trying to ruin you, to shut you up, to do something, and try to thwart you, try to betray you. Could have been a Queen of Cups. It's either that or you could have very well be staying compassionate despite it all. I did mention that there was a Cancer that could have been passing away, but I'm picking up on a masculine rather than a feminine. It very well could have been a feminine, either way. But there's definitely, I'm really picking up somebody's passing away. Somebody just did too much. And I'm not wishing death on anyone, collective, let's be clear here. Okay? We have had some pretty bad weather across North America. I did predict that a little while ago. I knew it was coming in. But I do feel that there's going to be word about somebody passing away. Let's look into the 808 number. Let's see what it has to say. Let's see. The 808 angel number, a powerful message of impending abundance, financial prosperity, and spiritual alignment, signaling that you're hard paying off and that you are on the right path. It often appears to encourage maintaining a positive mindset, embracing personal power, and in recognizing that you are supported by the universe in manifesting your desires. In material abundance, this number's frequency indicates that the universe is aligning to support your financial goal, often appearing when your efforts are about to bear fruit. Path alignment and growth, seeing 808 as a confirmation that you are on the correct path and urges you to continue developing spiritually and personally. Encouragement to persevere. It serves as a reminder to take pride in how you have come, acknowledging the challenges you have overcome to reach your current state. Balance and infinity, with the two eights presenting prosperity and infinity, and the 0 in the middle symbolizing divine connection and potential. 808 emphasizes the balance between material wealth and spiritual inner development. In terms of love and relationship, angel number may suggest the need for balance and harmonious positive communication with your partnerships. If you are seeing this number frequently, it is considered a sign to trust in the divine timing of your life and to keep moving forward with confidence. We're definitely, I've been definitely seeing mirrored numbers for the last couple days. So 424, 404, 222, 242, 232, 646. Like, so they're definitely, right? And just as I was starting into the live tonight, I seen the 808. So there's definitely something here to encourage you to continue to persevere, continue moving forward with the path of alignment and growth. Financial material abundance is on its way. Balance and knowing that you need to keep moving forward with confidence because you're on the right path. All right, collective? So keep that in mind as you're going forward. And I'm really picking up the fact that somebody really tried it. Somebody really tried to really kind of screw you up. Okay? Really? I wonder who that is. People wonder why I don't want to go out to BC. Wild. I'm just checking the headlines here. They got me distracted. Wild. $1.8 million fraud permanently banned by investment regulator. Wild. I wonder if that's the one that was calling me. So trying to get me a new car and got screwed up. Defrauding 25 clients out of nearly $2 million is now permanently banned from the security industry. It was sanctioned by the Canadian Investment Regulatory Organization, which found that they were, while working, misappropriated and failed to account for funds obtained by client and failed to cooperate with an investigation by regulatory organization. Ordered to pay another $30,000 in legal costs. The punishment followed a hearing held over 3 days and later. Wild. Anyway. Yeah, 555, that's some major changes on foot. You're in the right timing, you're in the right, you're ultimately in the right, you're in alignment. Well, pizza pops, don't be eating those pizza pops. You might want to look into, there's definitely a huge recall. They very well could be contaminated with E. coli. You might want to look into that if you eat them. Wild. Anyway, I'm getting slightly distracted. All my exes live in Texas. Anyway, let's get back at it. So, the energy that I'm picking up on overall, collective, you got some people playing in your energy thinking that they were getting away with it. It is officially getting they're officially getting backhanded. And Spirit's saying something about the fact that it's in real time. Like, I know myself, I was feeling very overwhelmed earlier. And it's really odd because I was even getting pain in my shoulder. And I do have and it's funny now that I'm just saying it, there's pain in my shoulder. Um, I did a little bit of a return to sender earlier, and the energy cleared out almost instantly. Okay, the pain in my shoulder went away. I started feeling upbeat. I started feeling clear-headed, clear-minded, and yeah. So this definitely could be significant to you, collective, to my tribe. If you were feeling a little overwhelmed earlier too, and then all of a sudden it just cleared, that was probably because I not only directed this protection for myself, but I did it for the tribe as well. Okay, so any of the supporters that have been me over the last couple years, um, anybody that's been consistently kicking it with me and part of the tribe and supporting me, if you had some sort of a release negativity earlier today, um, you're welcome. All right. Where are we going next, Spirit? Citadel. All right. And the angels too. All right. I'm going to start with the angel deck. What's going on, angels? Hey, kitty, look at this. The 555 come out. Change. Change happens outside of your comfort zone. The time for change is now. The angels are whispering for you to trust your path and to learn how to walk it, Take the next step. Allow change to lift you up and guide you. Affirmation. I release all that no longer serves me as I am guided to move outside of my comfort zone and let change in. I rest my case. 1, 2, 3, 4 could be a number as well. Persistence. Everything is happening in timing. Keep going. You have completed a task that is in alignment with your soul journey. The divine is letting you know that it sees you and that all of your persistence is paying off. You are being acknowledged. Affirmation. I take steps to stay in alignment with my soul's journey and I rewards of my persistence. Oh, I did see 1234 earlier today. Welcome in, Nix. One, two, three. Vision. Your path will not look identical to others. That is what makes you unique. Remember that as you stay the path that feels connected, the path will continue to lead you to alignment. Let your vision be as different as you are. My path is mine and mine alone. When I follow my path, alignment comes naturally. So yeah, there's definitely some major change on the horizon. You're definitely on the right track, collective. Okay, you just need to continue preparing, continue moving forward, continue staying focused. Okay, you are noticed by the divine. Okay. I don't know if it's Green Day. Could be Smashing Pumpkins. These lonely streets I walk alone. I walk alone, I walk alone. You're not walking alone. Okay? No matter how much you feel. Somebody's losing faith, or somebody wanted you to lose. Somebody did not want you having this perseverance that you have. I'm really picking up on the fact that they're losing their absolute mind. They could be racist. Okay? Because I'm not racist, but I had the urge to say they're losing their cotton picking mind. I'm not one to say that. Okay, so I'm thinking whoever this is, they're racist. They did not want you persevering. Okay? The miser, very stubborn, very inflexible decision. Whoever it is. They did not want you persevering. The adventurer, responsibility, and expectations. It's like they wanted to take all of their all the responsibility for something, and they very well had high expectations. They weren't willing to accept help from you or guidance. Whoever they were, whoever they are, whatever their situation. That's not your problem, collective. What else? The tailor. Attention to detail and pride. They put that to rest. Small regrets and longing. New influences and wanderlust. Let's see. The sleeper, cause and effect, clarity. I think somebody was sleeping on the fact that you were going to reach your potential. And I'm picking up on the fact, oh, they're never going to make anything out of that. They're not going to ever rise above what I'm throwing at them. They're not ever going to make anything of themselves. They didn't have fail. And they thought that everything that they were throwing at you was going to destroy you. Okay? That's the kind of energy I'm picking up on. But unbeknownst to them, you're that person. Okay? You're definitely that person. And I'm really picking up on the fact that somebody threw a lot at you. They did absolutely anything and everything that they could to throw shit at you, to do things to you, to project onto you, and Spirit's saying something along the line of dumbfounded. They're absolutely dumbfounded the fact that you've overcome every bit of it. Didn't anticipate that. And they didn't pay attention to detail. And now they're having to swallow their pride. And I'm really picking up on the fact that they're regretting everything they threw at you, because now it's hitting them right up in the face. It's backfiring. And the cause and effect that they were trying to do doesn't make sense. Like, it doesn't equate to anything as to why they did what they did, other than the disrespect and their own bitterness. They made promises they never kept. They didn't want you to have any type of life. They didn't want you to grow anything. They didn't want you to leave a legacy or see. They were loyal to binding you, to chaining you, promises that were broken. They were definitely not wise in what they did. With whatever that might have been. You definitely have some new projects, something here about learning new things. Definitely coming in for you. Okay, so something about music. Maybe there's some sort of inspiration. Somebody didn't think you were going to protect yourself. They wanted to burn you out. They wanted you ultimately judging yourself. They wanted you out here not feeling worthy, not stepping up into any type of inspirational gratitude or anything like that. Like, really picking up on the fact that they wanted you out here acting a fool. The dancer, self-expression, strength. But they didn't anticipate the strength that you have. Oh, there's the chat. Welcome in, James, male priestess. was wondering where the chat went. It's just sitting there, nothing going on. Not sure where the chat went, and then all of a sudden, bam. Welcome in, Brandy. As soon as I said Brandy, the masquerade shows up here. So, Brandy, are you hiding your true self? Are you projecting a portion of yourself that you feel is safe out into the world? Are you feeling a little bit out of place? Because that card flipped out as soon as I said your name. So I don't know if that's connected to you in any way. Collective, there's secrets here running from problems. So somebody's trying to run away from problems. Maybe they're speaking on saying that about you when you're just expressing yourself. You're standing in your strength. You're standing in as a warrior. And they're trying to burn you out because you are a warrior. Because you're standing on business. And people saying that you're hiding something, that you're just projecting, all this other stuff. Meanwhile, you're out here talking truth and they just don't want to accept it. I don't know, collective. Oh, yeah, they say that you're running away, you're keeping secrets, you're running away from your problems. I don't think you're running away from anything, collective. I think you're running away from the thick-ass attitude. I think that's what you're running away from. But this is somebody that was in your energy before, and I feel this is somebody that you cut off. That's been doing this stupid-ass bull. Okay, trying to destroy you, trying to flip your new beginning upside down, trying to ruin you, trying to make you look like an idiot, trying to make it to be a joke. And everything they threw at you is not working. And most of these people that are throwing shit at you, throwing shade at you, you cut ties with. They didn't want you taking command. They didn't want you being the captain of your own ship. They wanted to be your puppet master. Yeah, they wanted to be the storyteller of your story. They wanted control of you. Whoever these people are, they need a hobby. They need a hobby. No, Brandy, you have every right to hold off. Why pour into a holy cup? You know? Why pour into a cup with holes in it? That's how you get depleted. You have every right to keep boundaries. If they can't show up to you with a genuine cup, then what's right? Yeah, and probably say that you're stubborn and then that you're inflexible. It's not about that, it's about protecting your energy. It's about keeping boundaries, holding boundaries. You're keeping yourself out of the destruction, right? But they're trying to keep you from alchemizing what they're doing. Usually people that are asking you what you're doing, asking what you're going and asking on, are asking so that way they can thwart it. Really understand the intention as to who's asking you what. Because it's definitely significant, all right? It's definitely significant. Find out their intentions beforehand. All right, Spirit, where are we going from here? Where do we go here? I don't know, collective. All I do know is that there's a new beginning coming for you. All right? There's definitely a new beginning coming for you. For some of you, you guys are going to be very quite surprised with how things are going to tap in and into place. And no, you don't see this coming. You're not supposed to. You've just ultimately had to hold patience at this time for it to all get into alignment, and for the divine to work its magic and get you in alignment. But you have to be open to this aligning experience. Where do I go from here, Spirit? I'm really picking up on an oracle. There's definitely something here about picking up on an oracle, but I can't make up my mind which one. What oracle, Spirit? Make it make sense, please. Jim, out my post page. I think I may have posted something more recent regarding the chakra center. We have not just 7 chakras in the open of our body, but we do have more in the lower portion of our body. Okay, there's definitely some healing entailed with that. You start from work your way up, and you sit and meditate on each energy center to find out where that energy center, and usually if you might have any type of pain, will kind of indicate where you might itch. Okay, if you have an ongoing issue with those particular areas, you very well could have a blockage there. Okay, and show each one compassion, love, understanding, respect, uh, conviction, and step into your authenticity on it. Be honest with yourself, and clear it all out. Okay, what can you learn from these situations, that kind of thing. Okay. That is ultimately getting you in alignment. Okay, if you can release the fear, the pain, the greed, the lust, the sadness, the guilt, all that kind of thing, and you step up into your upper chakras. Because see, that's the thing, most people that deal with these chakra meditations, they just deal with the upper seven. They don't bother with the lower ones. And this is why we have so-called karmic healers out there. Okay, because they're thinking that they're all healed up and they're thinking that they're good, and they're still carrying around shit. And you need to alchemize it. For the only way you alchemize it is showing it compassion and understanding and learning from the experience. And if you suffer from a self-abandonment or abandonment issues from other people where you're feeling incomplete, people to validate you and feel some sort of a void, so that way you feel complete, then there's definitely some healing there. But as you step into this solidarity or of you being a whole version of yourself and your authenticity, it's definitely something that brings you into alignment just in itself. Welcome in, James. And again, thank you, Jim, for that little bit of love. All right, Spirit, what are we talking about? Okay. This the one? Yep. All right. Apparently there's some tea from the Black Rose Oracle. We got, what's the deal? No, it's lower than that, clown. The root is not the base. The base is in the feet. It's not in your root chakra. There's more chakras than that. They start up your legs, into your waist, and then they get to your root chakra. But you need to release the footing of the ones within your feet and your legs first before you can get to the root chakra. Because if you can't alchemize below your waist, then you're going to be defeating the purpose of the alignment. It's like you're trying to skip steps. You're trying to rush through it. But yeah, we all have more than 7 chakras in the body. But most people don't recognize that. They don't realize it. All right, Spirit, what's going on? What do we need to know? What's this message? What is the message? Illuminate, revealing the truth, confessions, shedding light. Okay, pretending, putting up a front, two-faced, not genuine. Somebody that is not wanting to contradict, their refusal, dismissal, not facing. Now they want to face reality, apparently. Apparently they want to speak to you. They don't want to stonewall you anymore. They want to take action. Uh, they're not holding it together. They're not getting a grip. They're definitely wanting to be free. But I feel their mask is slipping off. This is the whole narcissistic collapse that we're going through right now, collective. This is definitely a karmic. It's not a soulmate energy. They've been cut out of your energy, and not being able to play your heartstrings is really pissing them off. They want to take you out on a coffee date and meet up so that way they can reconnect because they've been blocked out of your system. They've definitely been bottling up their feelings. Yeah, they definitely want to speak to you now. I don't know, collective. I don't know if you want to do that. Spirit saying something along the lines of if you've already if you've already went no contact, maybe it's probably better that you stay that with this person. The fact that you're rising of their bullshit is probably a good thing. Yeah, they want to come in as a soulmate, but it's basically just to trap you. They don't love you. They never did. There's no unconditional love here. There's no compassion. There's no genuinity. There's no union. It's just a big, huge roller coaster ride, and you're going all upside down. You know, and it's like, let her here. Let me put a blindfold on you for a moment. And then they want you to trust you after they screwed you over, right? Because that makes a lot of sense. I'm overeating here. Hang on a second. There we go. Put my cloak back on. Whatever the situation is, collective, like, you really need to focus on where you're going, what you're doing, and leave this numbskull in the rear view mirror. I'm just letting you know that now. Okay, because they're just trying to thwart you. They're trying to slow you down. They don't want you moving forward. They feel like you're leaving them behind. And, you know, they lost out. They really did. Trying to come in and say that they healed, and they really didn't heal. Do the work. They're masking. And the thing is they're feeling trapped. And that's the thing that boggles my mind. They don't want to do the work. They don't want to hold themselves accountable for their bullshit. But somehow you're just supposed to let them back in and let them play in your face. You know, let them lie to you. When there's no compassion here, there's no love, there's no nothing. They can't even love themselves. What makes you think they're going to love you? Really? And they're playing it out like they love you, and they really don't. They don't give two fucks about you. If you got somebody that can't even love themselves and they're saying that they love you, really question that. Do yourself a favor before you get caught up in something that you don't even want to have anything to do with. Okay? People out here that they don't even want to commit to you. Okay? And they have genuine love for you. Okay? They don't want no commitment with you, but they have genuine love for you. And that's okay. Right? But then there's people out here that couldn't love the inside of a paper bag. And they're out here saying that they love you when they really don't. They don't even love themselves. They're out here flaunting their insecurities, you know, trying to play off the insecurities. And it's like, you know what? Who the hell do you think you're playing? Who do you actually think you're talking to? Thinking you're going to play in my face like that. saying that you care when you really don't. Specifically, the fact that they don't even care about themselves. They don't care to show up even for themselves. They abandon themselves every single day. And somehow you're supposed to trust them? That's one thing that's always boggled my mind. Like, I've dealt with self-abandonment because I've been abandoned in my past. Multiple different times. Okay? But it was ultimately because I abandoned myself. Okay? But it was because I was abandoned. It's a vicious circle. Once you start showing up for yourself, right, and you heal the abandonment wounds, the people that abandon you get resentful because you're not that same abandoned, broken individual that they can puppeteer, right? You become empowered, right? And then they're triggered by it because you've empowered and you've surpassed them because they're out here abandoning themselves and they want you to follow suit, right? To be proved. And this is why it's not always great to follow the crowd. You're better off facing the music, seeing things for what they are rather than what you want it to be. You're better off taking the rose-colored glasses off and seeing things exactly the way they are. It's in your best interest. Because at least you can step into your authentic, knowing that you don't have to deal with their masking and their bullshit. Like, I had at me there a couple days ago, you know, saying they want to have a hug, they want to, they want to get back in my energy, and, they want to, they want to hang out, and they want to see me. And then they're calling themselves ugly. They're outright calling themselves ugly. It's like, and this is after they say, "Oh, I've changed, I've healed, I've done all this work," and meanwhile they're calling themselves ugly. And it, of left field, like it just came out of nowhere. So it's like, okay, so you say that you've healed, meanwhile you're out here calling yourself ugly, and oh, but I've let go of all those insecurities. Well, did you learn anything from it before you let it go? No, because I moved on. There's nothing to look at. It's like, oh, okay. So you're basically abandoning yourself. And then somehow I'm supposed to come and pour into a cup that is empty to begin with. For what? Just to get depleted? Is that what the whole plan is? And this is a person that's abandoned me in the past anyway. And apparently they've healed. Apparently they've rose above all this shit. They've changed. When really they haven't changed at all. And this is why I say, and now I'm not necessarily calling them a narcissist, but their mask fell off. There are people that wear masks that are narcissists. Okay, but this comes back to the whole narcissistic collapse. Okay, there's people out here that wear masks, okay, that have narcissistic tendencies because of maybe having a narcissistic family. There's somebody in their family that was a narcissist. So they end up growing up with that narcissist, and you become what you hang with, right? So if, let's say, the father or their mother or whatever is a narcissist, then they're dealing with narcissism constantly on a constant basis, so that you end up building narcissistic tendencies. It doesn't mean you're a narcissist, but because you've had the abuse from a narcissist, You very well could build these tendencies. And this is why it's very crucial that you heal that. So that way you don't carry on with those narcissistic tendencies and become the narcissist. It's very difficult. It's very challenging. Okay? And this is how you show up for yourself, by healing. But if you're just going to throw it all away and you're not going to take the time to heal and acknowledge and recognize and learn from it and empower yourself through it, it's not about just throwing it away and letting it go, because if you throw it away, you're letting it go, you're missing out on that blessing that you could learn from, that you could rise above and evolve and empower yourself with. And ultimately, it's about choosing you, it's about pouring back into yourself, and about finding your self-worth and self-value and love for yourself. Recognizing and stepping into your authenticity and integrity and self-respect. But if you're not even willing to look at it and you're just going to throw it off in the trash, and you're not willing to recognize what you could grow from that, and it's kind of odd that despite the bullshit, you can still grow flowers from bullshit, right? But if you're not willing to evolve from what you've been experiencing, and you don't want to empower yourself, you don't want to rise above it, like, these are life experiences that the divine is showing to evolve into your most best version of yourself. If you're not willing to take this potential gold and make something out of it, taking the lemons and making lemonade, maybe a lemon meringue pie, you know? Pick your poison. And it's also about taking accountability. If you're not willing to take the responsibility and accountability of the shit that you endured and you don't want to empower, you're going to stay in this karmic energy. You're going to stay in this low vibration. Okay? And then you're going to need somebody to fill your cup, and it's going to be a tainted cup. So all the love that they pour into you is going to be null and void, because it's going to end up tainted. And it's all because they don't want to take accountability for their own shit. Ultimately, I've done a lot of work in the last 5 to 10 years to rise above all the shit that I've had to deal with. And I've been through some shit. But I know I've made some major headway. I know I've made some major improvements and accomplishments. And I'm proud of myself for that. I've evolved. I've rose above it. I've empowered myself. I know Earth. And I love myself, despite what everybody else wants to think. Wants me to feel worthless and all this other shit. No. I don't have to feel the way I feel. I'm going to feel the way I feel. Because I took the time, I took the accountability for myself to step into that and recognize what my worth is. So, it is what it is. You got people sweeping shit under the rug, and the rug is bulging at the seams. You're going to need a bigger rug soon. It's either that or you take the rug up and you sweep what's all the dust and everything that's accumulated underneath it. Stick it back in the flower bed where it belongs. And this also has to do with the chakra meditation. If you can get through all the chakra centers and go through that working and release all the pain and the suffering and all that shit, and you rise up into your north node chakras, you'll become lighter. You'll become a lot less tense. You'll become a lot less stressed. Things won't bother you as much because you've empowered yourself to recognize true worth. And some people just don't want to do the work. That's not your problem, collective. If people don't want to show up for themselves, don't expect them to show up for you. They want you to show up for them, but they won't show up for you because they're not willing to do the work. And if you took the time to do the work, you're better off cutting your losses and moving in a better direction. And let them sit in their shame and their guilt and their pain for not wanting to do the work and accountability that they should have taken accountability for the last 5, 6, 7 years ago. Over a decade. So and when they come in with some sort of an apology and they don't want to do the work, they don't want to look at it, it's because it's a fake apology. They don't want to see that. They don't want to talk about that. They want to leave it in the past. But sometimes when shit comes back and it bubbles up, you're meant to look at it. You're meant to face it for a reason, because there's still something there that you need to transmute. There's something still there that you need to alchemize. That's why it comes back to haunt you. So if you feel a lot of the pain and the suffering that you've been through in the past coming back again, it's for you to go through it, to recognize it, to show it compassion. But you're showing it compassion at a more elevated space after you've experienced some life experience. Right? I've had some childhood issues come back up over the last year and a half. And I finally sat with it and I showed it compassion. And it opened up sort of memory centers from my past. And by me sitting there with it and showing it compassion and love, and I re-established a connection with my inner child to help my inner child feel safe. And by doing that, empowered my inner child to start to be creative again and start to have hope again. Because my inner child was, coddled over in the corner. Depressed, sad, scared about the future. But since I've shown him compassion and love and said, you know what? We're older now. Look at all the shit that we've been through. Look at all of everything that we've overcome. And you might be asking yourself, so what am I going to do about the abuse? What am I going to do about all of the pain that I suffered in the past? Ultimately, you're going to be able to relate to other people. You're going to be able to see it from their perspective because you went through it yourself. And the fact that you've showed that part compassion and love and helped it to be released, that helps you to evolve. It helps you to grow. It helps you to find your worth and your confidence again. And as you release it, you become lighter. You become more sovereign within yourself. And it takes time. If you have the courage, go down deep into the roots of your memories. Go back and look at the childhood memories that you have. All the pain and the suffering that you suffered, and show it compassion. Show it love. Show it strength. Show it courage. And I guarantee you, it will rise above. You will rise above it. Sorry for not adding the mic back up again. Hopefully you heard it all of what I just said. But somebody wants to be somebody thinks that you're the one. Somebody has some sort of a deep love for you, spiritual connection with you, a life partner. Feeling stuck. They're feeling locked down. They're feeling like they're in a mental prison, and they're feeling captive. They're feeling trapped. Because they don't love themselves. They're not compassionate. They're not genuine. They're not ready for a union of what they didn't heal. They want you to jump on this roller coaster with them when you don't like roller coasters. You shouldn't have to jump on this roller coaster. You can ask them, hey, you want to get off this dumbass ride already? You know? But they don't want things to be over, but they're not willing to do the work to change, to better themselves. And now they're somehow feeling pressured about having to do all this work for you, to be able to meet you where you are. It's not about you, it's about them. If they don't want to do the work, that's not your problem, collective. It's not something that you have to worry about because you did the work. You took the time to hold courage within your heart and your soul to do the work for yourself. You didn't do the work for someone else, you did the work for you. And now they're all bent out of shape because now they feel feeling pressured that they have to look at all their pain and their suffering in order to be in your life again. The thing is, collective, they didn't want to listen to you before. What makes you think they're going to listen to you now? Now that you've elevated, now that you're leading by example, now that their mask is slipping and now that it's falling off their face and they're feeling uncomfortable because you see right through all their bullshit, and they don't like it. They don't like that you see right through them. You can only have so much compassion for someone, but if they don't have compassion for themselves to do the work, what's the point? Really, what's the point? You're ultimately spinning your wheels. Tell me more, Spirit. What's going on with this reading? Shattered, yeah. They're crushed, they're in sadness, they're broken heart, panic attack. Because they're feeling trapped with their own shit. And it's almost like they're trying to make you, they're trying to shatter you. Because you're not in this toxic energy. You've released this unhealthiness, you've released the poison, you've released the delusion. And they're out here casting nasty behavior onto you. Because you just won't love them the way they are. You know how many times the broken pieces of someone? Tried to help them, tried to heal them, tried to bring them back to normal again, back to the best version of themselves. You know how many times I've done that? And all I did is spin my wheels because they just want to be stubborn. It's very depleting. It's very draining. And it's not that I don't have compassion for you. But if they don't have compassion for themselves, if they don't want to do the work, which, yeah, I could definitely guide them through it. But they're letting it go through one ear and out the other, wanting to hold themselves accountable, not wanting to rise above it, not wanting to endure. They don't want to cry it out. They'd rather sit there with a broken heart and feel like a victim than actually rise above their competence. And how is that your problem? How is it my problem that I have to sit there and deal with somebody that's too stubborn to hear, too stubborn to actually hear me out, and rather hear me out to understand rather than hear me out to just reply and close back up and walk away again. Why should I bother wasting my time? And I have all the compassion in the world. I just don't have the patience to deal with stupid bullshit. If they're willing to show up and hold themselves accountable and rise above it and have the courage to do so, fine. I'll be right there. I'll hold their hand. I'll guide them through it. But if they're not willing to do that for themselves, like I did, I had no choice but to do it. It was either do it or die. It was either do that or rot in the ditch. And when I had my near-death experience where I just about died in my car, that was the game changer that I needed. Because I realized that there's definitely something here for me. There's definitely something bigger. And being guided by the divine to be here, to share my story, to share my experiences, to help you elevate. I'm out here wanting you to win, collective. I want you to win. I want you to find the courage. I want you to find the confidence. I want you to find the strength deep within you. You all have it. Every single bit. But you have to recognize that within yourself in order to make that happen. You're not going to find this in a book. Your chat GPT or whatever probably won't have the answers for you. You have to go within yourself. It's an inside job. Your journey is specific to your trials and tribulations. And whatever you've endured, whatever you've dealt with over time, is your journey. My journey is different than your journey. It's different than Joe's journey, to Tim's journey, to Kathy's journey, to Alicia's journey. I'm just throwing names out there. Everybody's journey is different. Sometimes we're parallel, different lane, same direction on the highway, and other times we're passing each other by on different direction, opposite. And sometimes we're stopped off on the side of the highway to take a leak, you know, fill up on gas, get a snack, change a flat tire. Stupid shit happens, you know? The journey, it's not about a race, it's not a marathon, it's not something that you can just skip through and, you know, not have any type of solidarity in it. Every moment counts. It's not something that you can rush. You can allow it to bubble up to the top and deal with it one little thing at a time as it sees fit. And this is why your past comes back to haunt you, because it's meant for you to look at. It's meant for you to alchemize. And coming into the end of the snake year, it's happening. So if you have a lot of past shit coming back up to bubble up, it's meant for you to realize and recognize it and hold compassion for it. Find the courage to overcome it. And finally release it. It will release on its own. But you just need to hold space for it. You need to validate it within yourself. And you can't do that in a victim mentality. You have to do it in an observer mentality. What can this teach me? Like, what could it teach me about being molested before I was even out of diapers? I didn't have any control over my body. I didn't even know what was happening to me. And the fact that it was over my face so I couldn't see who it was fucks me up even more. Because I don't even have memory of my accuser, of my abuser. Because of that towel over my face. So I couldn't even ID my abuser even if I wanted to. Because I only have fragments of those memories. What about the physical abuse of the spoons and the broken off my ass and off of my back? I know exactly who that was. And looking back, I try to remember what was it for. And it was really insignificant. Because I don't even remember what I was in trouble for. What I did recognize is that people were hurt. People were in pain, and they didn't have a way to express that pain and to alchemize that pain. So ultimately, the people that have pent up anger, pent up frustration, pent up abuse of their own tend to project onto other people. And it helped me realize that the people that were abusing me were abused. And this is where hurt people hurt people. But the moment you recognize that they were in pain and they were hurting, you tend to understand it a little bit more. That they had a very difficult time trying to release it and to alchemize themselves to overcome it. And instead they decided to perpetuate the pain onto someone else. So are they an abuser, or are they just as broken as you are? That's the big question. There's a lot of people out here that don't know how to express themselves, that don't know how to alchemize it. And a lot of it is just opening up your heart and opening up your compassion to yourself. And this message is going out to the karmics that are hurting, that don't have a way of alchemizing it. You alchemize it by showing up for yourself the way others neglected to for you. This is how you nurture your inner child, your inner raging teenager. The more you hold space for them and for the shitty ass memories that you hold, the more you recognize as an older version of yourself you actually endured throughout your abuse, throughout your situations you've dealt with. You actually have the ability to finally release that if you'd only sit with it and show it compassion. And allow yourself to release that through emotion, through crying, through writing, through something creative. You can create art, you can create music to transmute that. You can paint. But you have to find a way to express it and to get it out in physical form. This is how you create the validity and to validate what happened to you. Some people write songs, some paint paintings. Some people work in gardens and create gardens. The thing I find ironic is that, you know, they don't think that, the society doesn't think music is really important. Society doesn't think that art is important. I think it's extremely important when it comes to expressing and to transmute and alchemize, because it gives you an out to utilize in order to do so. It gives you the ability to show up for yourself. It gives you the ability to show up and be consistent. At the point that I started this channel, I wasn't being heard. I was constantly reaching out and nobody would help me. Little did I know, by reaching out here on YouTube and sharing my story and sharing my situation, which was spiritually led. After 3 years, now I've built up a tribe. I've built a group of people that I show compassion to, that show compassion back. We've got quite a solid crew. I anticipate this happening. But by my consistency of constantly showing up, constantly pouring out my experience to you, validate what I went through and how I overcome it, I didn't recognize I was also helping you to validate yours. Until I started getting feedback of how much I've helped you, to inspire you, to help you evolve and rise above your trials and tribulations and all. But when I worked with the Easter Bunny, I was broken. I was brokenhearted. I was an absolute hermit. I didn't want to have any compassion with anyone. I did not want to love ever again. I was bitter. I was just absolutely beside myself because they tried to destroy me. And I still, to this day, feel that they were trying to destroy me because I cut them out of my life. They were very abusive. And they would get me drunk and pretty well rape me. And that's one of the reasons why I don't drink anymore. It doesn't make me feel good. It just brings me back, and it reminds me of all that shit I went through. And they were very much a narcissist. They were very abusive. But when I took the job for the Easter Bunny, I was very closed off. I very much had boundaries up. I didn't want to have anything to do with anybody. And seeing all the smiling faces, seeing all the joy that I brought to many different people's lives, it helped me open my heart again. Welcome in, Renee. Because I showed up for other people, and I consistently showed up for other people, I ended up showing up for myself. I ended up recognizing the impact in people's lives. The thing is, collective, I've heard this quote many times. I don't know where it comes from, but whoever created this quote is a brilliant person. Sometimes when all you have is darkness in your life, and there's all this darkness around you, it's because you are the light and you are meant to shine. But it's very difficult to see your light if you don't end up looking in the mirror and look beyond the surface. Because beauty isn't just surface level. It goes deep as your soul. Art. And if you are alive, and if you are breathing, and if you have a heartbeat, have faith that the divine feels that you are worthy to breathe, to see, to heal, to feel, to walk, to touch, to experience life and all its miracles. But it takes you to recognize that for yourself, despite what you go through. And I guarantee you, 100% I guarantee you, as you find courage and as you go through this and as you rise above it, you will recognize and validate your worth by seeing your inner beauty, by seeing how that inner divine light works through your life. So I'll tell you right now, when you take the time to heal and you overcome everything that they tried to steal from you, whether that be your confidence, your innocence, you not only have a story to tell to help validate others, but you have a legacy that you're building from what you've endured and what you've overcome. And what you'll tend to recognize is that you've turned you into an absolute warrior. Unless you do the work, and unless you find the courage, you'll never see that for yourself. So find the courage. I can ultimately go through everything that I went through to get to where I am right now. And I'm still in transition. Don't think I'm not. Don't think I'm living it up. Don't think I'm not a millionaire yet. I'm still working on it. It's taken me 40 years to recognize and confirm that I am worthy, and I am wealthy, and I am wise. For everything I've endured, everything I've overcome. And I have every right to sit here and speak on this because I've done the work to recognize that within myself. And the reason why I speak on this is to help you to recognize that within yourself. That you too can have that. And you can ultimately heal all your broken pieces back together again. It is possible. And just think, if we all followed suit, if we all did the same thing, if we all did the healing, and if we all found the courage, and if we all rose above our trials and tribulations, just think for a second what the world would look like. It would ultimately be the answer to our crisis that we have right now. To find our own self-worth, to find our empowerment. I agree, clown. I agree. A lot of people think wealthy is about having money. It has nothing to do with money. To find worth, self-worth, it's not even about purpose. To be here speaking on being wise, it's not even about experience. It's about, despite what you've been through, knowing that you are still worthy, despite what others think, despite what others have done to you to make you feel worthless, you're still worthy. Because the divine said so. Because you're still opening up your eyes. You're still rising up through the motions. To be truly wealthy, to be someone of consistency, commitment, integrity, to be good in heart and soul. And to be wise is to take experiences that were meant to break you and learn from them and rise above them. And actually apply those lessons. Because if you just let it all go, then what do you really have? A lot of you are feeling like you're empty. A lot of you are feeling like you have nothing to offer. But what if you were to pick up all of that, what you endured, instead of trying to forget about it altogether? What if there's a lesson in it? What if there's something in that pain? What if it's something in those lemons that can make that meringue pie? You ultimately need some sort of substance or experience to work with. It's ultimately up to you as to whether or not you take that information and take that experience and make it into something of empowerment, or sit there and dwell on the fact that you're a victim. There's certain things that we don't have a control of in our life. There's a bunch of different situations that you've been through where you didn't have control over it. You had no other choice but to endure it. And then you're sitting there wondering what the hell to do with it. You can ultimately rise above and create boundaries now that you're older. Create boundaries and say no more. Will I allow people to abuse me? No more will I allow people to use me. No more will I allow people to take me for granted. You can create boundaries with that. You can raise your standards with that. No longer giving any type of energy to those that would rather do those things to you. Not paying no mind to the toxicity. By doing so, you're elevating. By doing so, you're showing up for yourself. You're no longer abandoning yourself like you really had no choice to in the past. Because that's ultimately what they wanted you to, is abandon yourself. And this is why it's so important when you're looking back at the memories to not be in victim mentality. You need to look into the observed position, point of view, and perspective rather than the victim. You were already the victim. But what can you utilize that experience to alchemize it? And that's where the warrior and the observer come in. It's the changing of the perspective. The pain is where the gain is. You get mad and glad because you've endured it, you've overcome it, you survived it, just in itself, because you're still here. But as you recognize what you've been through and as you recognize what you've endured, there's a bit of a cycle. There's a bit of a consistency that happens. But as you empower yourself and as you rise above it, that consistency changes. It diminishes and it finally releases. And everything that I'm speaking on tonight, we are ultimately being fast-tracked into that. And this is what I've been warning about. Because a lot of these karmics, they don't want to heal. They want to stay stubborn. They just want to continue throwing it away and not learning anything, not taking anything from it. So how are you supposed to make a lemon meringue pie when you threw away the lemon? How are you supposed to make your lemonade if you threw away the lemons? How are you supposed to grow a garden if you walked away from the bullshit, taking anything from it? And this is how you ultimately alchemize it. You turn lead into gold. What was really heavy, turn it into preciousness, and turn it into something that's ultimately priceless. Because anybody can grow a lemon tree, but it takes the particular environment to grow that lemon tree. You're not going to grow no lemon tree in the Arctic. You need somewhere warm and comforting to grow a lemon tree. So you need to show the warmness to yourself. You need to show the warmth and the compassion to you in order to build and to tend and to nurture that tree, in order to get those lemons, in order to create that pie or that lemonade. And every seed that grows has a little bit of dirt thrown on it. Every little seed that sprouts must see darkness before it's light. But as you nurture that, as you water that, as you allow your emotions to flow through it, it feeds it, it waters it, it helps it sprout, it helps it to grow into the beautiful lemon tree that it is. And the more you put into it, the more you tend to it, the more lemons you will receive. And the more lemonade and the more lemon meringue pies that you can make. Clownfish, you're funny. Otherwise, you're growing nasty grapefruits. That's priceless. So people wonder why, why I bother doing this work. Because it's worth it. Because you virtually become indestructible. You become unbothered. Because you've sat so much with the pain. You've picked it apart so much to learn from it, to evolve from it, to overcome it, to alchemize it, that it loses all perspective. It's like saying the same word over and 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 over. It loses context. It turns into a sound rather than the word. And where that might lose meaning because of the context, you'll still gain from it. But this is how things change. This is how things evolve. It's by being consistent, by showing up, by giving it warmth and compassion, feeding it courage and inspiration. Like I was just asking myself the other day, like, what did I do to deserve all of the pain and the suffering that I have endured? The toxic ass family I had to walk away from after they snaked me, all for their own selfishness. When I've done nothing but open my heart and be nurturing and kind to them to snake me in the end, steal from me, leave me to suffer, put hits out on my life to make pretty well put me dead in a ditch somewhere. What did I do to deserve that? And then it dawned on me. They're hurting too. But they're not willing to alchemize it. They're not willing to sit with it. They're not willing to look into it. They just want to hold that low vibration. I guarantee you, collective, they're going through it now. They're having no other choice but to look at themselves now. And for some of you, it's just the light you hold. Just like the royal priestess says, sometimes all you got to do is just be born. All you got to do is exist. But a lot of us, a lot of the earth angels, a lot of the star seeds, a lot of the chosen have been born into karmic families in order to shine light through compassion, truth, about how karmic asshole snakes really are. To shed light on the selfishness, on the greed, on the pain, so that way they have this but to see, to look, to face what they've done. Not only to themselves, but to other people. And this is why the chosen, the star seeds, the earth angels, this is why they are targeted. This is why ultimately some of them are brought to their demise because of their light that they shine, the truth that they speak. And we are currently moving into a time where these karmics and these narcissistic psychopaths have no other choice but to look at what they've done. And a lot of them are not going to make it out. They're not going to have the chance to heal. They're having no other choice but the guilt and the irresponsibility. And they will ultimately have to come back, but they will be going to a new planet at a lower frequency than Earth in order to live and to go through this same shit all over again. Because they failed to do it in this life. So people out here thinking that you only have one life, I guarantee you it's not one life. Earth is now going through a transition of elevation and evolution. The planet Earth is raising its frequency. It's part of the cycle of its growth. They start off in a very high vibe. It goes to a low, and then it comes back up to a high vibe again. It goes to a low, and then it to a high vibe again. That's the ebb and flow of existence and creation. Just as we exhale, we inhale. The duality, the yin, the yang, the light, the darkness. When we get to integrate both, we end up with a shadow. It's the mix and mingle of the two. You cannot have one without the other. And this is why nature is just as kind as it is cruel. Because without one, we would not appreciate the other. We would not see the context and the perspectives, and we ultimately would not recognize the light if all we had is darkness. And we would not recognize the darkness without the light. Because ultimately we need to have that duality to recognize the difference between the two. But when you can recognize both and you can integrate both, whether duality of darkness and light, masculine and feminine, whichever one, because there's light and dark, within the masculine and feminine energy. We have both because nature's both. It's all part of the balance. Based on intention. You can still be in darkness and still show compassion. But you can also be in light and show no mercy. So it comes back to intention. The biggest inspiration I feel that I have at this point is how I rose above and how I've endured and how I've overcome. How I've learned to integrate both my darkness and my light. And this is why I've integrated it into my... Because a reminder of everything that I've endured and overcome. It's ultimately made me a warrior. A spiritual warrior. It's ultimately helped me to recognize my self-worth. It's also helped me to recognize what I can bring to the table. And a lot of the wisdom that I share with you is something that you cannot buy. It is utterly priceless. And I hold great honor with that. It keeps me humble. The current transition that we are going through, collective, isn't easy. It wasn't meant to be. But I will say that it takes courage. And it also comes down to the fact of whether or not you see that courage within yourself. Whether you can recognize that for yourself. I was a little inspired there to play a little tune in memory of music days. So that's my little choo-choo song. I hope you enjoyed that. I sure know how to clear a room. And that's quite alright. It gets rid of the karmics pretty quick. I guess I'd call it my karmic buster. Hey, Steph. Well, you can rewind and listen if you want. It's only about, I would say, about 5. But if you're just joining us, it's pretty insightful, pretty deep pretty deep messages this evening. But it does coincide with a lot of what I've already spoken about on the channel, so it may be a repeat of what you may have already heard. I'm almost ready to change my name on here to Broken Record Tarot, because I kind of feeling like a broken record. But I keep being called to speak on the same stuff because I feel that I have new people coming in all the time. And the Spirit's saying something along the lines of, I gotta catch up and catch them up. Because I end up having to speak on the same shit over and over and over again. So why not call it Broken Record Tarot? Yeah. I think it's Jupiter moving into Aries, which is substantially significant. Yes. Yeah, 17th of February. Big hugs, Renee. I'll tell you, you weren't alone in that respect. You have a Pisces sun, moon, and Mercury was a sad rising, so the Neptune moving out of Pisces after 14 years. I'm hoping means things will actually lighten up. I want to believe. Wow, Stephanie, your Mercury retrogrades must just be off the hook. I kind of wish I didn't pack all my books away. I could have looked into it. Yeah, that's the thing. The planets have been doing its alignment thing to get us in alignment to our higher self. And a lot of our old paradigms, a lot of the old energies are coming full circle. And with the alignments that they've had to where they've all met and they're now moving direct for the most part, I don't think there's anything retrograde right now. I don't think we got anything retrograde until like the middle of March, I think. April. I'm not sure. But it's definitely getting us for the age of Aquarius. I almost said Atlantis. So there's definitely coming back online with Atlantean kind of ascension. This is where the old low frequency paradigm gets taken out of the equation. And this is why there's so many ego deaths happening across the globe. This is why there's so much upheaval and chaos. And this is why, you know, everybody's losing their shit. It's because we're potentially, we're not potentially, we're literally cutting out the dead weight. And a lot of the shit that we've been carrying with us for generations is released. And this is why a lot of the star seeds, earth angels, chosen, have come into this time and moment and place. Because we are literally ridding the earth of our curses to bring things back into alignment and in a higher frequency in order to welcome the age of Aquarius, the age of enlightenment. And this is why everything is moving out of Pisces. And this is why we have a lot of narcissistic masks falling off of the karmics. Because they choose not to heal. They choose not to take accountability. And they're having no other choice but to face themselves. They either face themselves and heal, or they cease to exist. It's literally coming down to that. And I've been on my channel the last 3 years warning people about it. And people just telling me I'm delusional, that I don't know what I'm talking about. Well, here we are. It is what it is, and it will be what it will be. And it will come down to the point of what we choose to react to and what we choose to not submit to. And if the last 5 to 6 years hasn't taught you anything, the next 5 to 6 years will. I'll tell you that right now. It's becoming evident that we cannot just go by and coast. We have to pick a side. And unfortunately, some of us were, unbeknownst to us, because of coercion, we regrettably chose a side. For the ones that want to learn the lessons, yeah. For the ones that chose to learn the lessons, they're fucking around and finding out the hard way, unfortunately for them. To the ones that didn't want to listen to reason, to the ones that did not want to, they just wanted to submit, they trust. And now there's a whole bunch of people regretting. But it's ultimately opening our eyes to the overall decision of what certain groups of people chose to think, ultimately of us, entity, thinking that they could control things. And Spirit's saying something about a huge uprising. And I do feel that that's going to happen. Because people are having no other choice but to wake up and see things for what they are. Ah, welcome in, Laurie. Hugs to you, my dear. I thought it was you. I like line 1. Great Spirit, is there any channeled messages that you'd like me to speak on? There's a lot of people that we've had a great regard for within the public sphere of things, within the overall matrix, shall we say, that we've had a high regard, that we've trusted in. And I'm asking on the fact that these so-called trusted Spirit wants imbeciles that we've had trust in, they're about to lose their credibility. In all seriousness, this is why the healing is important, collective, because standing in your solidarity to the divine is very important. Now, as you know, my perspective, if you've been here for a while, that God in its construct is a man-made construct. Okay? The divine itself holds a higher position. Because it ultimately is the divine consciousness. The divine resides within every single one of us. And we are, some of us, the ones that chose to not heal, are being brought to their knees to recognize that divinity. I'm being told non-believers. And then we have the believers of deception, which is the God and devil construct. Just as there's divine intervention, there's divine vengeance as well. Just as I was speaking on the aspects of nature, it's loving and cruel at the same time. Without one, you can have the other, which creates a balance. This is very much between order out of chaos, which has been orchestrated over across the planet and humanity for as long as our lifetimes can remember. This order out of chaos is coming to balance because of our history, because of the lives that we've lived, our reincarnation bringing us to a particular consciousness level. We are now recognizing what serves and what does not serve us. And with these planetary alignments and with these planetary conjunctions and transfers and it's ultimately changing our DNA. And this is why the last 5-6 years was orchestrated in order to alter that. This was ultimately to stale us out and to stall us out from our awakening. Ultimately, it blew up in their face and it awakened us anyway to the truth of the great deception and the great puppeteering of the puppeteer, puppet master. It's becoming evidently clear that the ones that are in control are out of control. They're losing control, they're losing their grip. And this is where the great uprising will balance things out. Light will always win because the light has always been meant to shine on the darkness, to eradicate it. That's what its purpose is. To stand in your sovereignty and to stand with the divine is very important. It will ultimately guide you to your next season, providing that you can hear the whispers of your inner world and your inner temple, what it's ultimately trying to share with you and show you and teach you. If you are open to that wisdom, it will help you to recognize that you do not stand alone, that you are very much alive, that you very much have a conscious decision to make. To know that if you act with integrity, act with intention of possibility, miracles are endless. To hold courage, integrity, to be humble, to see the lesson in it, to gain the wisdom of it. Our future world will be made intentions of what we choose to show up with, we choose to hold energy for. And where you feel that you do not have control, you ultimately have your hand on the wheel of your own experience. The deception that you have no control over what's going on is deception. It's illusion, it's lies. So if you are feeling like you're losing control, you need to step into the stillness, the sovereignty between you and the divine. And recognize that this is your birthright. This is ultimately nothing to be thinking that is evil. Yes, evil exists, but it exists within the lies and the deception. But this is where we need to open our minds and our hearts and stand in our own sovereignty. Within humanity, together. And as we recognize that there is a waging of war on that, as the world has been through many wars, this is a spiritual one. And depending on which side that you stand on will determine your existence. There's a lot of faiths and beliefs out there that require you to be controlled. And the lies and the deception and the recognition and validation within your heart space, you ultimately will know the truth. Through what you see, what you hear, what you feel. The divine is ultimately waiting for us to step into our sovereignty as a human race of every color and creed. And to be and rejoice of our oneness. But it takes us to step into the recognition of our intention. We are the ones we've been waiting for, collective. We've always been the ones we've been always waiting for. The idea and this thought that no one is coming to save us is a blasphemy. It's meant to make us feel powerless. It's meant to feel unworthy. To make us feel less than. It gives us the ability to know and to recognize that we, as a humanity, power. Not these imbeciles that are trying to control things. In your mind, your heart, and your eyes, all three of them, to the reality of things, you start to recognize the ability of how powerful we actually really are. And by overcoming your own trials and tribulations, we ultimately overcome the trials and tribulations of humanity. So as we each individually overcome and empower ourselves over our trials and tribulations, we not only save, but we ultimately save humanity at the same time. But that takes a great courage to lead by example with good intention. And it takes you to hold yourself accountable and step into alignment of this new momentum coming in next month. I spoke about this change 2 years ago, where the world will never look the same. There is no such thing as going back to things of normality. The old systems are crumbling. It's plain to see. They are losing validity. They are losing their credibility. These paradigms were ultimately meant and created to hold us back, to keep us crowded, to keep us divided, to keep us powerless. The You Collective. Humanity needs you. The more you show up for you and show courage within yourself and show courage to humanity, the more we will rise. Do not let the deception get to you. It is meant as a distraction to make you feel powerless. This is why the healing is so important. This is why you find courage within your deepest parts of your soul. And healing the traumas and tribulations that you've endured. Not just this lifetime, but lifetimes before. This requires you to step into alignment. This requires you to clear out your energy centers. This requires you to recognize your chakras and to step into the divine. If we all did this across the board, we could step into alignment with Atlantis. We have the potential to raise the frequency of Mother Earth back to its original frequency. So where we're waiting on our systems that are crumbling to save us, we could have ourselves. We are being brought into a precipice of time and space in a moment of great change. But that change will only be determined and executed and put into action if we all take charge on that. And the main and first order of business is to heal your insecurities, to heal the pain, to heal the trauma. So that way it can finally be released to allow us to elevate into the highest version of ourselves. It's ultimately up to us. It always has been. It always will. So just as you feel you are alone, you are very much together as a humanity. And as we step into that, the great realization that we have the power to change the world. We've always had it. But these systems were created to keep us from knowing that, to keep us dumbed down from our fullest potential. That great transition. Some people say that it's only going to get where it gets better. Are a pessimist. Very pessimistic. Because it ultimately doesn't have to be that way. It's not about showing compassion to other people, it's about showing compassion to yourself. Knowing that you are wealthy and you are wise. Just as you are. Just as you've always been. Recognizing the hurt and the pain that you feel has been simply imbalance. All negativity and all the chaos was meant to keep us submitting to their so-called systems in order to control humanity. In order for them to get the upper hand, not you. They've stolen our innocence, they've stolen our sovereignty, they've stolen our integrity, they've stolen our intention. It's time to get it back. It's time to stand as one. For humanity's sake. I've been on this channel for 3 years, speaking on the same thing, figure out a different way every day to change the way we see things, to change the way we perceive it, in order to empower, to inspire, in order to be that ripple. The knowledge and wisdom is meant to be applied, to lead by example, to lead with integrity, honor, respect, compassion. The old world is being eradicated for a reason, because we must make room for the new earth. As a collective, we are ultimately being reborn into truth and clarity, to kill. And due to the deception, it will ultimately piss us off. But if you continue to transmute and alchemize it, it will ultimately set you free. You will then find purpose and direction. And as you step into that accountability, holding honor and tranquility, good intentions, this will be the game changer. This will be our rise into the new earth that is already here and waiting for us to rise with it. As a humanity, it always starts from the inside out. This is ultimately the answer. This is ultimately the blueprint. This is ultimately the map about world peace on this planet. Holding honor, integrity, and good intention. Recognizing our identity and standing in solidarity. It's always a side job. It's always meant to start within you. It's not about the outer distractions. Being in alignment with yourself and the divine, and allowing everything else to fall into place, to be open to change. And they are ultimately doing everything in their power, as the imbeciles that they are, trying to continue to have control over this shift. The one thing is that kind of pisses me. We did not have to get to this point, collective. It is ultimately up to us. We need to set the example, but not in a chaos way. They ultimately want civil unrest to deter and to detain us. So we literally need to flip tables and stomp fables and stand in our solidarity. And this is not about bringing about a new world order of what they want. Because there's something so much bigger than their one world order, and that is divine order. And ultimately, the only way that we will get into that divine order is if we integrate into the divine. And that resides you. Always has, always will. It's always been an inside job. We have so much control over this than we realize. And most of us are sleeping on ourselves because we are too distracted by what's happening outside of us. The choice is yours. It has been. It ultimately always will. It's just whether or not you have the courage to make those choices. The clock is... I've been on here speaking for the last 3 years about how important it is and how crucial it is for us to heal, to be able to integrate and to be in alignment with the divine. Not God, not the devil. I'm not necessarily diminishing, but I must say that those that are to go to hell are usually religious. The ones that have already been there recognize it's a spiritual. Because of deception, it gives you no other choice, because it pretty well brings you to your knees. To the point where you have no other choice but to look at it, to see it for what it is, rather than be distracted by a book. And I'm not out here trying to discredit religion, but I'll tell you right now, it is created to discredit in your truest, fullest potential. The only thing that you need is compassion in your heart. Because out in these streets, out in these spiritual streets, It's all love and light, but a little go fuck yourself. That requires boundaries. It requires courage and self-worth. It requires boundaries. We are not to submit to the status quo of the current crumbling systems. These systems were not meant to be fixed. They were meant to be eradicated a long time ago. It's ultimately up to us and our decisions. The choice is yours. Do we rise? Or do we meet our demise? On that note, collective, this is going to be the end of the channel, of the channeling. Not the channel, but the end of the channeling. The end of the reading for the evening. To those who showed prosperity to me this evening, much gratitude and tenfold blessings returned. I appreciate your blessings of support from the bottom of my soul. If you would like to give to the channel, you can become a member. Super chats, super stickers are welcome. Donate on the Hipsy link in the link section. You can get your own personal reading, your personal session. The sessions are on a limited time basis at this point. Tomorrow is probably the last time that you'll be able to get a open session with me for quite some time. However, recorded readings are always available. I do appreciate you giving generously. It does not go unnoticed and is very appreciated. There's no words to represent or to validate the love and the support that I get. It ultimately must be felt, and I do feel that. I'm very much in gratitude for your support. I very well could be on here tomorrow again. Maybe an open table tomorrow evening. I may open with some music, or I may have an earlier live. We'll see how I feel. I might grab my guitar and play a little bit. Who knows? We'll see. But I have a lot of packing to do and organizing. So tomorrow's live may look a little different. All donations to the channel are greatly appreciated. Thank you very much for your ongoing support, collective. I'm going on a journey soon. Chances are I'm taking you with me. There may be a shift in my content for a little. It may be channeled messages, channeled lives, updates on the progression. I may share different experiences of this journey. I'm playing it by ear and allowing Spirit to guide me in that. And I do appreciate your patience in this. If you can't be good at it, at least be good to yourself, first and foremost. So that way you can be good to others. We are the game changer we've been looking for. And it's time that you recognize that. Thank you, clown. Thank you, D. Divinely guided, guarded, and protected, Julie. The journey has only begun. Sweet dreams. I'll catch you in the next video. Thank you for joining this evening. I'll catch you in the next one. We heal ourselves for ourselves. That way we can show up for each other. What's going on, Julie? Why are you sad? Well, it is cold out there, mind you. But I do have a snowsuit. It's good for 40 below. I've got lots of sweaters. I've got the ability up. I still have money in my pocket. Providing that I have some help from my tribe, I will survive. I will prevail. Between the divine and my tribe, I couldn't have done it without you guys. So I may just be bringing shorter content unless I can plug in. I may move to shorts for a little while. So stay tuned overall. I may go live once in a while as long as I can plug in. If I can't plug in, I may just do a quick little video, a very quick live. It's not going to be anything long, like 2, 3, 4 hours like I usually do. Yeah, I'll be on tomorrow. I'll be on tomorrow evening. As of the 29th. After the 29th, I think I'm going to take a couple days off. I'm going to go ghost for a couple days. But I will give you guys updates. Stay tuned to the channel. All the links are there to donate, to get a reading. I will find a place for the readings if need be. If I have to go to a coffee shop or find a library or somewhere where I can do the reading, I'll do the readings. I will find a way. I kind of feel like I'm going into like an undercover boss situation. It's showing me a new perspective. And I feel this is going to help show me a different level, the system that is crumbling and breaking. No way. I'm not going to forget about you guys. Not a chance. I'm not going ghost forever. I'm just taking a couple days off to dress and to I'm not going to tell people my plans as to where I'm going and what I'm going to do, just to keep the fucking haters guessing. Good. It's not bad. I'm gonna take a couple of those days. Worst case, I'll be back February. So that's like 2 or 3 days. It's like it's like the weekend or whatever. But this is in an alignment with me also cutting back on cigarettes and trying to quit. So I'm just kind of taking a bunch of days to myself and to meditate and to unwind and be in the stillness. And it's a bit of a electronic detox, shall we say. It's kind of like I need to pull away in order to come back again. I'm going to spend a couple days with spirit, probably do some astral projection, and yeah. I will do my best there with my passport. There's definitely places that I'd like to see in real time. But I kind of want to wait for the weather to change. I definitely want to wait on shit to kind of settle down first. But I'm definitely game to maybe coming out that way at some point. All right, tribe. I'm gonna go and get some shut eye. Probably gonna make some food first before I lay down. I will give you guys updates as the rest. Okay, everybody meet at Renee's house, okay? And then I'll do a cooking class on how to make onion soup. A tribe reunion onion soup stuff at Renee's. It's a bit of a jump over the pond, that's for sure. All right, kids, be good, and I'll catch you in tomorrow. Catch you in tomorrow's live. Same time, same bat station, all right? Sweet dreams, and love you lots. I'll catch you in the next one. Over and out.